Welcome back, everyone. We are in the beginning stages of our new mic episodes, and so I just want to kick it off with something that I always wanted to do. Shout out, Jocko.
Now you need to read a passage from a book in a very
First of the 506 was rolling out, dear Route Irish.
Did you listen to the Alex Honnold episode?
What did he do?
So, I mean, you know who Alex Honnold is.
I don't know the names, but I probably know what his job was.
No, Alex Honnold was the guy who free soloed El Cap.
Oh, no, I did not listen to that one.
Amazing episode. But Alex is like, he's a really funny dude. I think I've met him like a handful of times now because climbing's a very small world. And he's if you've watched the movie Free Solo, he is just as awkward in real life as he is in that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And anyway, so Jocko like read a section of the book, but in Jocko voice, like my body tensed, but like it was just
as I shoved my hand
full
into
send
the crack.
Jocko, and he like introduces Alex, and then Alex goes, "Whoa, dude, that sounded like super intense." Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And is Alex like, yeah, it was that intense. Like, that's the most accurate I've ever heard it described. He was like, oh, no, I just kind of climbed El Cap. It ain't that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he's like. Like, nothing is a big deal. It's, most of the things that would be the scariest thing that's ever happened to any of us, he was like, it's fine. I probably wasn't going to die. He had a great thing about why he doesn't do any sort of like base jumping or skydiving though, because like base jumping is kind of where climbers go to die. Like a lot of climbers have become base jumpers and then died afterwards. And so somebody asked him about base jumping, and he's like, "Oh,
gotta get down some way."
And he's like, "No, that's too extreme." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah. What?
And he goes,
say,
"Yeah, but
say that again,
like
please."
Free soloed El Cap, and he goes, "Yeah, but when you're free soloing, everything has to go wrong for you to die. When you're base jumping, if anything goes wrong, or everything has to go perfect for you to live through it." And he's like, you jump off and you're going to die, and then everything has to go right. He's like, that's way too backwards for me. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get that.
Sidebar. So when you climb up to the top of El Cap, there's like a walk down option, right? Or they don't climb down.
No, there's some rappels. So that usually you take what's called the East Ledges. So as you're looking at El Cap from the valley, you go to like Looker's Right, and you kind of go down this big long slab, and then there's about I think it's about 400 feet worth of rappelling, and there's usually just like some fixed lines there, so you just like clip in and like wrap down. And
so when you get to the top, you're not done.
You're not done, but
the worst is over.
The worst is over, or maybe the best is over. I mean, walking off El Cap at like 2:00 in the morning when you're thrashed with. I've done plenty of stuff where you're like, oh, we're done with the thing, but this is actually way worse than the thing because you're just so destroyed that you can't like put one foot in front of the other. So like Lotus Flower Tower was like that for me. Like we did the whole thing, we got down, we're like, oh, we're done. And then like the hike down, there's this heinous talus field underneath Lotus Flower Tower. And it took us just hours lost in the dark trying to navigate this talus field. And we're just completely thrashed because we've been up for like 24 hours at that point. And so, yeah, so sometimes like the thing is like, oh, we're done with the thing, but like your day ain't over yet.
Yeah, right.
You still got some doing.
It's like the prize table at a match. Like, yeah, you did the thing, but
you did the thing, but they got to sit around. They got to thank 40 sponsors. So, yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, we really want to thank Briley Manufacturing for sponsoring today's episode.
Yeah,
and we try really hard to talk about the other stuff that they do, but let's not forget. What pays the bills over there is choke tubes, probably the most underrated part of shotgun shooting ever. And theirs are prime.
Yeah, premium tubes. I think I talked about here on before that my tube gun has a choke that is a was it a light mod? Is a light mod.
Yeah, light mod.
Yeah, the light mod choke in my shotgun is a choke tube that looks like a Briley choke tube, but is not. And it is a noticeably worse pattern than all of my other choke tubes.
That is, I mean, like, you really don't know how good or bad choke tubes are until you really do your research.
Yep.
So, like, put it down on paper. And I got a fresh to me gun now, so I'm gonna have to do it all over again.
Yep.
But
Don't
yeah,
skip that step, boys and girls. Padding your shotguns.
yeah, take your choke seriously. Do some research. There's a lot of power in a few thousandths of an inch.
Yes, there is, because that's whether or not you get that no shoot usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are also, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Atlas Gunworks, and along with the other teasers that we kind of been doing here, my pistol. We are currently recording this from the condo at Two Gun Nationals, which will now have been several weeks ago. But right after this match, my Apollo is going back to Atlas for some special sauce. And
Special sauce?
I wasn't actually sure.
Are you making the trigger lighter?
No. Absolutely not.
People, the move is the heavier. There's two options on the trigger. The move is the heavier option.
Yeah, it's shocking. Yeah, like in no way do I want that trigger to be lighter. No, this is the thing. So you can, in one instance in Atlas land, actually order off the menu.
I don't really believe Riser when he tells me this, because I haven't heard an Atlas person actually say this is an option, and it seems like the exact opposite of anything they would want to do.
I have had it confirmed by 3 separate Atlas people. So
This is crazy to me.
They all gave me the same price. So I am convinced that it is a thing. I don't know a person who's done it, but I know people who have done it, and they said it with a straight face. So apparently, if you buy a ported gun, this does not apply to comped guns, but if you buy a ported gun
is holes in the barrel,
Yes.
not compensator threaded on the end of the barrel.
Correct. So think Apollo, or is it the EOS is the short ported
Yeah,
one?
Apollo, EOS, and maybe Nix.
No, the Nix is imported.
Okay.
Yep. So Apollo or EOS. Actually, I'm not even sure on the EOS, but I am sure on the Apollo. If you have an Apollo, you can send it into Atlas, and for a price that I'm not going to throw out here, just because we're still trying to make sure that this
Prices
is a real
are
thing.
snapshots in time.
Exactly. They are indeed. They will fit a non-ported barrel into your gun. So instead of going and buying yourself an Athena, you can buy an Apollo and then have another barrel put in it, and you get yourself, it's not a 2-for-1. It's not, it's cheaper than a new Atlas, but it's not cheaper than the Glock. So,
As an Athena driver, I'm going to feign being upset about this for quite some time.
okay.
Even though there were no ported barrels when I got that gun, but
Yeah.
I have the opposite. I just have to buy a whole new gun.
Oh, you poor thing.
It
So
sucks.
do you have room in your safe next to all of your other Atlas pistols?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. I don't. If you need to store some somewhere, you just let me know. Send them over, and I'll store them.
I got a new toolbox because my guns are my tools, and you know the part that folds up on the top where you can charge the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
I have pistol racks up there now.
Hell yeah. Doing it right. Doing it right. Nice.
There are no children in my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty cool that they do that. I will believe it when I see yours.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm a little bit nervous to even
It seems
put this out
a little
into the
too
universe.
good to be true.
We'll find out, ladies
man.
and gentlemen. We'll find out.
It's that magical time of year. Dreams do come true.
They do indeed.
And like Santa Claus, you have to believe to receive.
I do believe, because I really want to stop shooting open minor. I've been shooting open minor in USPSA for a very long time, and it is not a winning strategy.
So lame.
Yeah.
Even though I think if I get a G card, rewind. When I get a G card
Attaboy.
in limited 10, I think that might be the next one that I go after.
Open
But
minor?
Open? Yeah, but I
Open
don't
minor
have
G card's a hard one, I think.
I don't know. We'll see. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, those
I feel like there's a bunch of other divisions I'd want to shoot first.
those 3-point Charlies hurt a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
I've said it publicly too many times, and I'll say it again just so that I'm not tempted to actually do this. But I think if I was a little less public about my gun not being major, It's loud enough that people would think it's major with the right ammo.
Yeah, it's just a club match, no matter though.
I don't do that though.
Yep. It's your turn, homie. You gonna Gary us?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, come on. It's your episode today, boy.
I have to forget it in some way.
You brought it in. You gotta stay on task,
dude. I was so into our dialogue, you know?
I know.
All right, so Gary of the day, your favorite time, my favorite time, everyone's favorite time, the Gary of the day. I'm in a call center at Vortex. I'm customer facing, and a lot of people will call in and they will let us know of a product defect. We have a very big defect on our pistol red dots. Do you know what it is?
I'm gonna guess they aren't round.
That is a very good guess, but that's not the Gary of the day. Okay. That's actually science. Did you know that?
Oh, I know where you're going with this one.
The soot from the gun gets on the front of the lens? Yes. Yep. Yes, we did. It's kind of a thing. They're like, well, are you gonna like redesign it so it doesn't do that? No. It's been a thing forever. Like welcome to red dots.
This is more of a physics problem than a red dot problem.
Yeah, this is a physics problem. When the chamber opens and it's under pressure and there's oil in there, a little bit's gonna splat on your window, and it's also not that big of a deal because a bunch of people shoot occluded on purpose.
Yeah.
So, including everybody at this match, pretty much.
Yeah. Also, yeah. If you're shooting correctly, you should not notice if your window is dirty. Yeah. It should be completely irrelevant.
Yeah. Gary of the day is people who scratch their heads and just can't figure out why the black stuff gets on the front side of their red dot window.
Yeah. Oh, and little occluded tip for you guys, because we've been doing some occluded shooting today. It turns out, did you know that if there is a physical obstruction on the stage in the form of a barrel or a wall that covers your non-dominant eye, shooting occluded kind of a problem. So right. I scored up on a activator on our first stage and went, where's the target? All I see is a barrel and a bunch of black. And the target was in line with my sights and in line with my gun, but obstructed from my left eye by the barrel, and it was a problem.
Yeah, we're kind of like on the backside of occluded shooting being new. But at first, people were like, well, why wouldn't I shoot like this all the time?
There are reasons.
The only way it works is if you can see the dot with one eye and you can see the target with the other eye. If the eye that's not looking at the dot can't see the target, it will not work.
For example, do not shoot occluded on a 45-degree offset red dot on your rifle because the scope is in front of your other eye. Will not work.
Yeah, mount specific, but decent chance.
I did test it.
But yeah, people who are appalled, they're like people who buy factory ammo and then they're like, this ammo is so dirty. It's like dude, yeah, there's gonna be some residue. But anything that's made by a major manufacturer from ammo is not dirty ammunition. My brother in Christ, I assure you. Walk a mile in a hand loader's shoes and then come talk to me about dirty ammo.
Shoot some coated bullets with tight grip and talk to me about dirty.
Yeah.
Well, before we hop into our topic here, I'm going to cut Maxwell off because this is going to be a timely little thing, and I didn't know where else to put it. But if you're one of those folks in the Salt Lake area,
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Something kind of cool is happening. So the Armory Shooting Range, which has been my range sponsor for quite a while, they also host our kind of Thursday night indoor USPSA matches. They host once a month new shooter matches. They've done a bunch of stuff for the shooting sports. They are fantastic. They announced a little while ago that they're closing shop, which was really a bummer. Basically, the ATF made their job so annoying that they were like, you know what? I'm just going to take my ball and go home. So, but what happened was a couple of the employees were like, well, you're going to have to demo this whole range and tear everything out of there. That's going to be super expensive. What if we buy it from you? We drop the FFL and we just run it as a range. All we do there is training, practice, and matches. So that's what it's turning into, which is kind of cool. And they're going full send. They're repainting the walls, fixing some target stuff, setting things up so it's easier to set up like kind of matches and things like that inside.
Nice.
Pretty rad what they're doing there. New ownership. I don't know if they're going to be a sponsor anymore or not, but they still the best range in town. And our buddy Zach went, hey, if this is going to be full-time and you don't need to keep the range open for public, that opens up all kinds of opportunities for other matches. And Zach, being the entrepreneurial spirit that he is, went in and decided that he is going to start a local belt series. So it is all belt all the time.
What is belt?
Belt is shooting from concealed. You don't actually have to have a Hunter Constantine belt, but it is, let's say, strongly encouraged.
It's inspired by inspired by Hunter.
Inspired by Hunter, and I would say it is strongly encouraged that you have a Hunter Constantine belt, and open mocking if you do not, I think, are probably going to be the ground rules.
So here's the thing on the Hunter shooting from concealed thing at other matches. Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live where it's a spoof? Someone's pretending to be Celine Dion. And she's like doing like duets with other artists like Jay-Z or like people completely out of her context.
I don't think so.
Anyway, it's a bit. I'm sure you can look at it, but yeah. Anyway, she basically she's starting to do like a collab with a rapper, and then she basically launches into Celine Dion, and then she starts singing with Garth Brooks. I'm just gonna make stuff up because I don't exactly remember, and then she basically goes into My Heart Will Go On Again. and then the end of it, the punchline is she does it with Mariah Carey. And she's like, I do Mariah better than Mariah. And so when I look at all this stuff that Hunter's doing with shooting from concealed, I just see him looking straight into the camera through his Hunter HDs and be like, I do IDPA better than IDPA does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt. But so the cool thing that he's doing here is, so basically indoor match, the super details aren't worked out, but it's essentially there's three divisions, basically optics, irons, and compact. So little Glock 43s and 365s and things like that.
Tell me there's a compact box.
I think it just said less than 3 1/4 for the barrel.
Zach, make a compact box.
So then my problem is I shoot a Glock 43. I don't know if you've ever tried to reload a Glock 43, but
I have.
The grip is not full length, so they are
hell yeah, brother,
quite difficult to reload. So I'm gonna have to learn how to stuff some mags, or I might just buy myself a 43X. And
if nothing else, shooting from concealment will teach you what you maybe want, but certainly what you want nothing to do with in your EDC setup.
100%. But the other cool thing that he's doing is it's just like a point series thing. There's 5 matches throughout the year. You need 3 scores, your best 3 scores count, and you just sign up all at once. So you just I registered, I signed up once, I'm signed up for all the matches, I have the dates, so that way the people coming to those 5 matches are the people who are in the point series.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so you don't have to be oh no, I missed registration for the thing and now it's full and I can't go. And so anyways,
what's interesting is I swear to God we did not talk about this, but 25% of our listeners are undoubtedly local to me. We're doing the same thing, guys.
Are you really?
Yeah. Winnequa Gun Club and Vortex Nation matches for winter 2025/2026. I am going to do a For Funsies points series on the side, and I'm going to put a concealment category in there because I swear about half the people showing up to our on the regular to our indoor stuff.
Yep.
They're shooting appendix.
At least 30% at our local indoor matches are that way.
Yeah, and I'm one of them. Now that I got a bounty holster, it's just I would just rather just to spice it up. I mean, it's the same thing. I could show up with a full raced out open rig and I could womp on everybody, but it actually gets old. Where either you're working your hard skills on EDC, but then also like it's kind of fun to like tighten up the spread a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's, a few people that are shooting the compact division are
hitters,
quite honestly, better pistol shooters than I am. So,
yeah.
But I was like, I thought for a quick second, I was like, all right, do I game it out and I get something with, more capacity and easy to reload and this and that and everything else? I'm like, no. We're either going to shoot the 43. I have been already thinking about getting a 43X for a while, just so I have like a full length grip. So at the most, I think we might do that, but I think we're just going to stick with what we got and just like run the kit as I would carry it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other Redbeard local to me. Let's see it, son. Let's I'll see you at the range.
Good luck, buddy.
All right. So today, what we're talking about, spicy topic.
This is going to be fun.
I'm
so excited about this one.
This is the kind of topic that was probably in the top 6, or at least at the root of why Riser wanted to start this podcast, is talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Worst advices that we have ever gotten in shooting. We have a couple. We can't say the worst advice we ever got because, man, that would be a short show. And how do you quantify worst? But we wrote down a couple to get started, and who knows where we'll end up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, should we just throw the slowdown and get your hits out of this and just get that out of the way?
Yeah, that probably is number one.
I mean, that's number one for sure. But everybody knows that's not exciting. You need to shoot fast and you need to get your hits.
Slow down and get your hits.
If you slow down to get your hits, what you are going to do is miss slower. What you need to do is do the correct thing at the speed that you need to do it at.
Well, and why is that incorrect? Because there's two ways really to score our sport right now. Time plus, in that the score is your time. So in slowing down, that's detrimental to your score immediately. In hit factor, the slower you go, the less your points are worth. It's like inflation.
Yeah.
But it's like inflation for your money, all right?
Yeah.
The longer it takes, the more money they print, the less your money is worth.
To steal one of my favorite drink Brian Nelsonisms, slow is the opposite of win.
My favorite was Kalani Laker. He said, that's what slow people say.
Yeah.
In a speed game where we were essentially gun racing,
yeah.
That's what slow people say.
Yeah, I heard it, slow is smooth, smooth is fast is what slow people say.
But Wyatt Earp said that speed is fine, but accuracy is final. Okay. Also, they were shooting single actions that were not fast to reload, and you still had to beat the other guy.
Yeah.
All right. So, but the reason, it's an innocent thing to say. Like it comes from a genuine place, but it's bad advice because following that advice won't fix the problem. Right?
If you're not getting your hits, there is a technique problem in play that needs to be addressed. Simply doing the thing that you're already doing slower will not fix that problem.
Yeah, it's akin to taking medication. All right, like if you just wake up in the morning, you have an owie, and you take painkillers, yes, you'll feel better, but you didn't fix the problem.
Yep.
Slowing down to get your hits essentially means, at its core, you don't have the skills to shoot at that pace, but you'll have that error no matter what pace you shoot at. So like as you start to run, you can't slow down and get your hits. You need to do everything correctly.
Yes.
And if you can't do everything correctly, if you're shooting at a pace and you're not getting the results you want, you are shooting faster than you have skill to do that correctly in that context. Was that a good way to say it?
Yeah.
Because or Frank Proctor, another one of really good instructors one of my favorite instructors that I've ever trained with. He's like, no, you can't. don't slow down. Opposite of slow down, but he's like, you got to do everything right.
Yep.
And the faster you do it, the more unforgiving incorrect is. Kind of like driving, all right? Like most people aren't race car drivers, but like most people also don't know how bad of drivers there are because they're not going fast enough for there to be detrimental consequences.
Yeah.
But if every Joe average soccer mom went out and on a racetrack and like laid the hammer down at 150 miles an hour, they would all go into the wall.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the skills to handle the car at that speed. So, are you going too fast? Probably. But just slowing down won't get your hits. You need to hold on to the gun, orient it towards the target, and press the trigger without it moving.
That'd be a great start.
It's just that easy, folks.
Yeah.
It's simple,
indeed.
not necessarily easy.
All right, your turn. What do you got for us, buddy?
Go prone whenever you can.
Oh, my God.
Whenever you have the opportunity, prone is the answer. Maybe there was a time. Maybe. And it's at least 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
But like, if you can go prone, go prone. Here's the thing. Prone is the most stable position.
Also takes the most time.
It takes the most time to get there. And sometimes when you get there, there can be stuff in your way. You don't necessarily have line of sight to the target when you get there. And again, it's a sport measured in time. So if you can get a better hit at 100 yards from prone, but someone else can offhand that, the person who offhands it is going to win. Mm-hmm. So it's a super American thing. Oh, go prone. But you need to evaluate the hit that you need, the level of precision it's going to take, the position that it is, like where physically is it? Like, is it in a mud puddle? If there's a big honking mud puddle there, I probably won't go prone depending on what it is.
Is it 15 extra yards to get to the prone
is
position?
It, yeah,
or
is it?
Can you
yeah.
just shoot it from back there?
Yeah, so what are the pros of going prone? And what is the opportunity cost of going prone? And I would also put that in the category of similar, but not necessarily as often appreciated. If you could take a rep, like if you can brace off a wall. Most of the time, if people can brace off a wall, the human inclination is to do that. There's a lot of times it's not a great idea. Is it more stable? Is that wall actually more stable?
Yeah.
Depending how they mounted it there, maybe not.
It's actually worse.
Yeah. A lot of times it's actually worse. And then how long does it take you to build that position?
Yep.
Versus the hit you need. A lot of people, it's like, this is one of the fun parts of being a match director. Whatever the farthest target is on the stage, you have a 25-yard bay. Put a target all the way in the back. Give people something to brace off of. Even put it in the WSB. You can brace off the dump box. People who wouldn't think twice about ripping some offhand shots at 25 yards, you tell them they can brace off that box, they're going to get down there and brace off that box.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So stability is not free.
Yeah, it comes at a time cost. So, I mean, this is true for the difference between offhand and braced off of something, between braced and double kneel, between double kneel and prone. Like, as you go through there, what you really have to figure out is, okay, how long will it take me to get into the next most advantageous position from a stability standpoint? And then how many makeup shots is that from the other one? So if you think about it like, okay, if it's an offhand shot or a prone shot, I mean, like it's been a while since I've actually like timed this. I used to have it written down somewhere or just knew, but I think it's something in the neighborhood of like, I think it's like 2.5 or 3 seconds for me to go like from standing to prone and break a shot at like an 8-inch plate at 100 yards. I think it's like something in that territory. So, so I'm immediately eating 2.5 seconds. Shooting offhand at an 8-inch plate at 100 yards, my pickup shots are about 0.7. I think is kind of where I landed at the last time I did that.
Yeah.
That's
pretty conservative.
Yeah. It might be more like 0.5. That's a lot of pickup shots.
Yeah.
Before you chew up 2.5 seconds worth of shooting.
Yeah. Like you get, what is that, 10? No.
I mean, like, let's just say they're 0.5. That's 5 shots.
5 shots. So you could miss 5 times before you've even cracked a shot prone.
Yep.
You might get it on the first one.
Yeah. And you might be 2.5 seconds ahead.
Yeah. Or you might get it on the third one and you saved a second and a half. So, so you can miss fast enough to win sometimes.
Yeah, indeed. Well, and also another thing on the prone kick, I have seen so many people go out of their way to make sure that they finish. Like, let's say a stage has a prone position, period. It just does. Going out of your way to make sure that prone position ends up at the end of your stage, not necessarily the best thing. It really depends on the stage around it. I saw a whole squad of people that I assumed were smarter than that shoot an entire stage backwards at UML Nationals like 5 or 6 years ago. Like this big, long 40-yard, you basically like, boop, you shoot a couple things off a sawhorse, you go prone, you shoot a couple things, and then you run down, you shoot a bunch of hosey stuff to the end, transition to your pistol, transition to your shotgun, but you could start anywhere. This whole squad shot the whole stage backwards. Like all 3 guns just to finish in the prone position. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Like, my God, guys. Yeah. Well, yeah, a bunch of people did that last year too at this match last year when there was the prone spinner position. Mm-hmm. A lot of people from the start bar, it was like step left, go prone, shoot that thing, then run into the stage and shoot everything. A lot of people ran in and shot the entire stage and then ran all the way back to the prone position and laid down and shot the spinner.
What?
Like a lot.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
They shot the whole thing and then they came back and shot that spinner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I really wish there was a spinner here this year.
Just saying. I really wish Maxwell or Leo Grandis allowed bipods. What are we doing with the wings? Come on, guys.
Don't listen to him, Max.
Bipods. We had sticks
you
before
do
we
what
had
you want
guns.
to do.
No, listen to the people.
Live.
We are the voice of the people. Bipods. All right.
What's the next one you got?
I'm going to say the 36-yard zero.
Ooh, okay.
I want you to zero your gun at 36 yards and then look me in the eyes with a straight face and be like, yep, totally dead on at 300. Like, what?
What?
No, that's the thing. The 36/300 yard zero. They're like, well, I mean, according to the Marine Corps manual, because... So anyways, this is one of those like institutional inertia that like eats its way out of the Marine Corps. I have seen so many people like ranging a 36-yard target to go zero their gun, like, yep, nailed it. And then they go to some big natural terrain match and just get absolutely body bagged because 36 yards and 300 yards are not the same thing. I don't care what your ballistics calculator says.
Right. Do you know where that actually comes from?
I thought it was from reduced size targets in the Marine Corps. Was that not the case?
I think that's part of it. I was not in the military, but people who would know have told me they don't actually have big ranges at a lot of places. So, like, a lot of times the reason they zero at those short distances is because wherever they're deployed to, they might only have that distance.
Yep.
But a colleague of mine said this when he was teaching. I was sitting in on one of his classes, and he was in SOCOM for his entire career. So I believe him when he says this. He said the 36-yard zero comes from Naval Special Warfare. The primary mission of Navy SEALs
I do know this.
is to board ships. And so they wanted point blank. How would you describe point blank? Point blank is the distance to which you can hold center and get an acceptable hit.
Max point blank? Is that what you're talking about?
No, just like a point blank.
Oh, how would I describe point blank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would describe point blank as the distance where I don't need sights.
Okay.
I mean, like, when I think of two different point blanks. Like, to me, point blank is contact distance, or like if I'm going to draw at something that's 3 yards away, I'm just going to orient my gun at the center.
Maybe I'm thinking of max point blank.
I think you're thinking of max point blank,
which would be the distance you can shoot without having to correct.
Yes.
So they wanted a zero where they essentially could max point blank, and they wanted to hit a CD-sized target, which for you kids, we used to record our music on these little plastic discs that were like 4 inches in diameter. 5?
I think they're about 5.
5 inches.
I haven't held a CD in my hand in a bit.
Yeah, so they wanted to hold center and hit a CD sized target at any reasonable distance on a ship. And through experimentation and math, they decided that 36 yards was the optimal zero for maritime CQB with carbines. So that's where 36 yard zero came from and probably proliferated from, because we're in a post GWAT. Well, I don't know that we're really post GWAT, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure the GWAT is still kind of going on.
Yeah.
But in theory, we have left the 2 countries that we were in.
Yeah. So, but in 20 years of GWAT, if it started in the beginning of the GWAT or even was doctrine before the GWAT, like enough people have gone through the system in the course of the wars that the origin of that may have gotten lost in the sauce. And 36 yard zero because we 36 yard zero. And I would even leapfrog into any zero where somebody says it correlates at 2 distances, because people are equally guilty. I was guilty of this, the 50, 200 yard zero.
Oh yeah.
That's the same thing. Shout out my uncle Steve Fisher. You get 1 zero. You get a 50 yard zero and a 200-ish yards, you're 200-ish, or you get a 200 yard zero and you're like 50-ish.
Yep.
But it's not bang on 50, 200. And some of, like, you guys, you probably listened to it live on the show here. My mind has been changed on the 50 yard zero, like allowing the bullet to be in flight longer towards like 100 yards is going to give you a better indication of where you're at windage wise, because it essentially allows the groups to spread more. So you're going to see a correlation of it being slightly off center one way or the other. And I'm talking within like 2 or 3 clicks. All right. But like where it matters, when like a lot of matches like Texas 3-Gun Championship and Memorial and I believe in Superstition, like those are won and lost at 300, 400, 500 yards. So subtle windage error just in mechanically zeroing your gun can matter quite a bit.
Yeah.
And also the further distance out, if you're on the further end of that spectrum or the closer in on that spectrum, so your bullet travels in an arc. The more you're zeroing off of the ascending side of your arc, the more round off error you're going to have on the descent of your bullet. But that also, the round off errors at that distance are target sized. Yeah. So you could have everything right, but a round off error would equate into a miss.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I mean, if you are doing, like I said, don't do a 36, 300 yard zero, because that's asinine. But if you are doing a 50/200 yard zero, which like, that kind of makes sense. What I would really say is zero at 200 yards, and it will be close enough at 50, but the inverse is not true. So if you can't confirm at 200, then a 50, 200 yard zero is a complete roll of the dice.
Absolutely.
Yep. I think it's your turn, homie.
Hey, man, just don't DQ. All right.
Isn't there a sports psychology thing about not telling somebody to do a negative?
Absolutely. And that's what you're fighting right now at PCSL Nationals, because you're
I'm sure that podcast will have already aired, but we have not recorded it yet, and you guys will hear all about it.
It's rough out there, sports fans.
It's been a rough one.
But I don't know. I think it's kind of like explaining to a teenage kid, and like, well, how do I talk to a member of the opposite sex? I don't know, man. Just like don't offend them.
Just don't make a fool out of yourself.
Yeah, just don't make a fool out of yourself.
Yeah.
What? I don't know how to do that.
Sweet. Thanks for the help.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I really like the people who do the new shooter briefings, or people that come up to new shooters and give them, like, God bless them. But like, I want to punch every one of them in the face when they start talking about DQing or not DQing, because like, they don't know. You got to give them the direction to go
Not the direction to avoid.
Not what to avoid, because if you look at the tree, you're going to drive the car into the tree.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like, yeah, man, just don't DQ. Or like, oh, you know, they're out there. Hey, how's it going, man? I haven't DQ'd yet. Like,
oh Jesus.
Like, oh my gosh. You know, so the whole like don't DQ thing, you could have the exact same goal and say, I want to shoot all the targets. Yep. I want to complete all the stages. I want, you know,
be safe.
I want to be safe.
Be safe is the opposite of DQ.
I'm just trying to be safe.
Yep.
But like, you know, it always goes there.
Yep.
It is just don't DQ. Don't do anything to DQ. That is some of the worst advice you can get.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. All right. I'm going to say any type of like shooting through an array that you've like predetermined that this is what you always do. So like distance change up is a real drill, right? Like being able to go from fast aggressive shooting to I'm going to get a much better sight picture and trigger press back to fast aggressive shooting is a super important skill in our sport. And then, you know, how things present themselves varies on every single stage. You might have paper, steel, steel, paper, and then some of them are close and some of them are far. I have seen a disturbing amount of people who will come into a position, shoot all the steel, then all the paper, then leave, no matter what.
They're just going out of their way not to leave on steel?
Well, they're going out of their way not to leave on steel, but they're also going out of their way not to switch from steel to paper to steel.
Oh.
Because they're trying not to do that like sight picture sort of change where they're like, I'm going to do the careful shooting first, then I'm going to do the aggressive shooting, because if I do the aggressive shooting, then I find myself shooting too fast and then I can't go back to the careful. And you need to stop that. Mm-hmm. Like that, you know, you need to be able to shoot the array left to right or right to left or whatever the activator sequence is back and forth that makes the most sense on the stage, regardless of how those targets present themselves to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're one of those like...
Can you have a preference? Sure.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to do it both ways.
I would rather enter on paper than steel. I would rather leave on paper than steel. If I come into a position and the first thing that presents itself is steel, I'm definitely going to enter on that. And if the last thing to present itself is steel, I'm definitely going to leave on that. Like, I have a preference, but I'm just going to shoot whatever makes the most sense for that stage. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
Yeah. Man, I don't know why that bothers me so bad. When I see people do that, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you just added like 4 seconds worth of just target transitions in this single array. That time matters too, dude. Like, not just your splits. Like, the time between the targets matters a lot.
But I slowed down and I got my hits.
Yeah, I slowed down and I got my hits. Look how good that was. Jesus.
Press checks are dumb. They're the opposite of dumb.
You know what's way dumber? Beep, draw your gun, click.
Yeah.
That's way dumber than a press. Who says press checks are dumb?
Tactical guys.
Why would that seems like even dumber.
I never agreed with this. A lot of it proliferates out of tactical response. R.I.P. James Yeager. He was right on a lot of things. I don't think he was right on this.
Yep.
But they were. It's kind of like, have you seen any of those videos floating around where a person stands downrange and then they shoot at a target so the person can get used to shooting around people?
Yeah, never do that, people.
Allegedly, I may have participated in something like that at some point.
Jesus.
But the idea of that is good. I understand where that idea came from. Mm-hmm. That is not the most intelligent way
I
to
feel
convey
like you
that.
could accomplish the same thing by hanging your cell phone next to the target.
Maybe, but like in this instance, they're like press checks are done. What they're trying, and they would tell you at that school, and schools like it, that they're appealing to your caveman brain. Like the tactical response way. When you load a gun, you insert the magazine and you rack the slide or the bolt. No matter what, every time, even if there's a round in the chamber, every time A equals B.
Oh, don't they have
A
when you do
B.
a reload and you have a round in the chamber and you just put it in, you rack it?
Yep. And And so that's where it comes from, because they're trying to break down gun handling into the fewest number of things. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where it came from. And so they're like, well, if I have a question, if the gun is loaded, I'm going to run the system. I'm going to tap the magazine, rack the action. And if a round comes out, it will tell me, or I will know that one's loaded, right? So that's where it comes from. And I also think a lot of times it's the symptom, it's not the problem. Because people can induce malfunctions doing press checks. The press check's not the problem. The problem is they did it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Right? So they can press check, and then when they ride their slide down and it's slightly out of battery. Or they press check their AR and the bolt carrier is slightly out of battery. And so they're like, never do that. You know, like it's a binary, like never, always. It's like, no, like same thing with hitting the forward assist on your Air 15. Like our friend Drink, Brian Nelson, like he posted a video about that the other day. And like, he's right. Like, is the forward assist dumb? Yes, it is. Is there never a time you should use it? No. But at the same time, you got to know what right looks like. When people like have a in battery AR-15 and they still slam on that thing just to be sure, like what sticks in my head is Travis Haley. He's like, you know, in the Magpul days, he's like, know what right looks like. Is that in battery or not? You know, what does right look like? What does wrong look like? And so it's kind of one of those things like, yes, it's an opportunity to induce a malfunction if you do it wrong. But also, like, if you're doing it, it's because you're trying to know the status of your weapon. So, I don't in the context,
lose around every time I want to know if my gun's loaded.
Yeah, but even just in the context of our sport, the sport that we primarily talk about, it is measured in time. However, making ready is pretty much the only part of the sport that's not timed.
Yeah.
All right. So you have all, quote unquote, all the time in the world to make sure it's right. But if it's not right and you find out on the clock, now it is costing you time. So if the question is it dumb to verify something like this on the clock or off the clock? A press check off the clock will always beat a malfunction or an empty chamber on the clock.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. No doubt. It blows my mind that was the conclusion that they came to. So this whole, like, there's a, I mean, especially in the tactical side of things, there is a very long history of like deep entrenched, like we need to dumb this down to the simplest thing. But also it's like, well, in the heat of the moment, you're going to be into caveman muscles. And when, you know, you won't be able to use fine motor skills when your adrenaline's going and things like, I'm like, dude, you think fighter pilots never have adrenaline? And they're like running comms and navigation and pressing the buttons and doing all that. Like you train yourself to be able to do all of those things with adrenaline going through your body. Like that's the point of the training. Actually, my favorite on this was, I would say our friend now, Keith Garcia. I spent a lot. I was on a squad with Keith a few weeks ago now at Area 2, and he was talking about stuff he's doing on the private side. He's a law enforcement professional. He's a retired law enforcement professional, and now, as many do, congratulations, Keith.
He's a contract firearms instructor for law enforcement agencies, and so he rewrote their qual program for that particular agency, and he said it's the hardest one anyone's ever seen. And he got a lot of pushback on it. Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. And he came back with, it's doable. And he's like, if you tell people you must pass this or you don't get to work, he's like, they'll pass it.
Yep.
He's like, no, it's not like we throw them off. You know, it's not like we throw them in the pool. He's like they're going to take it. They're going to get 13 days of firearms training or whatever it is. And then at the end of the 13 days, you have to pass this test. But like, right now, whatever the super low standards are, and people are just rising to barely meet that standard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the concept, it's a problem. But guess what? Those people will rise to barely meet the standard wherever it's at.
Yep.
If they want to work, if you want this job, this is the level.
Yep.
And people will rise to whatever that level is within reason. And so he's like, it's not impossible. It's not even that hard. But you kind of like slow down and get your hit. It's like you do have to have some skills and do it right to pass. But that's the point.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, it's...
Huh.
But yeah, it comes out of that world where they're like, they keep dumbing stuff down to the lowest common denominators. Like, guess what? People will inherently rise to barely meet the standard wherever you set the bar.
Yeah. Oh, I'm stealing that. That's a good line. Well, I mean, much on that same thing, I think one of the dumbest things that I hear a lot is train like you fight. So, okay, if you're gonna like this, if this is your world, you need to roll out in full kit, battle belt, the whole thing, every single
Put a tourniquet on before you do shit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, have you guys ever heard of batting practice? Like, they don't have a game and have a pitcher throwing balls to people to learn it. No, you set up a machine and you throw thousands and thousands and thousands of balls at you in a batting cage, learn how to hit all of the pitches. That's way better than like going through your entire pitcher lineup so you can get some reps in. Yeah. I mean, professional sports teams don't just scrimmage all the time. Yeah. Yeah. You run drills, you run all kinds of stuff. You have no pads days in football. Like, oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, don't like the last LE class that I taught, that was like one of the things like, should everyone, bring their plates? I'm like, no. Absolutely, no, we're just learning how to shoot the guns. Like we'll learn how to shoot the guns correctly, and then later on we can introduce other stuff to see how that changes things. But like it's not going to be as drastic as you think. But in order to learn the initial skill, you want to be isolating that skill as much as possible. I don't train reloads by shooting stages. I train reloads by reloading the gun. Oh, right. Like it's the same thing. It's like you want that thing drilled down to its smallest component so you can work on that one thing and figure out what you're doing. Like the more noise you add in there, the harder it is to learn anything. Or even like it's kind of like what they want to like use their gear to get used to shooting in their gear, but some of like you need to have the skills first. Like how do you know how you want to set your gear up? Yeah. If you don't know how to shoot properly, if you're from the word go, trying to work around a wonky gear setup. Yeah. And a lot of times that like when I see it's manifested in like placement of equipment on load bearing equipment or a plate carrier vest. They'll put a pouch right over the top of their pistol. Anybody who spent any time drawing a pistol, in a way, they're putting anything near that pistol. No. So because they want to be able to draw it out. Or the one that gets me, my favorite one in the lot, like I love law enforcement officers. I choose to work with law enforcement officers exclusively. I go to conferences. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why people position an FBI can't holster, so raked muzzle to the rear, butt forward. I don't know why they would put that in front of their hip. Wait, what? This is a thing? Yeah. Yeah. So on a right-handed person, they will put like a full retention holster, raked FBI cant at like 230. Wow. And I just don't get it because I'm like, you wouldn't put it there if you knew what you were doing. Yeah. And there is no way that is comfortable. Like I could see somebody putting something in a position that was fundamentally incorrect because it's more comfortable to live that way. But I don't understand why, and that is right where your seatbelt gets buckled. Like they're essentially putting it right in the way of where a seatbelt goes. Yeah. In a job that they primarily drive cars. Yeah. I don't understand. So like if you had a concept of what a good draw felt like or where I want a holster ideally, what ideal feels like, then you can mix in the amount of, okay, well, but you're not a professional gunfighter, so you have to live with this thing. I was working with a group of agents the other day, and I was like, I understand you don't go out every day and get into rolling pistol gunfights. You have to live with the gear more than you use it. But you kind of want to know what right feels like
and then kind of water that down with, okay, how can I put it in the right position in a place that I can live with?
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, me would say, nope, appendix carry is not for me. It's not comfortable. I don't like it. I sit down all the time. It doesn't work for me. I didn't understand the right way to do it. Now that I understand where kind of ideally I would want a pistol if I wanted to draw it the fastest, starts to make more sense, and I can make some concessions to put it pretty near that place in a place that's kind of comfortable.
Yep. All right. What do you got, homie? Believing
any long-range distance information you get from, well, literally anyone. I will believe range information that I get from Riser, Travis Vogel, and Ruben Alexson. That's it. I will verify anybody else's, and Dylan Easley. I will verify, or I will trust but verify any other range information.
Yep.
On long range targets.
I have like 2 other people I'd add to my list, but yeah, there's
it's so,
yeah, like I'd add like James Gill, Cody Leeper, Daniel Horner, maybe Brian Nelson.
Yeah. I'm not saying that these people are not correct. I'm just like more.
Yeah.
These people have to be at the core of my circle.
Yeah.
For me to believe, like, I treat this like life and death information.
Yeah.
Like,
what you really shouldn't believe is the RO or the piece of
anything
paper
written on a piece of paper.
Yeah, the piece of paper stapled to the.
Now it's getting better. It's getting better, but I will not trust it.
No, I will absolutely
verify it.
Yep.
And if what I get is significantly different than what's written on the paper, I will start to investigate.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, Riser, what did you get?
Yep.
Travis, what did you get? We will start to deconflict. I will verify from multiple sources, but I will not just walk up to a stage, look at a target out there, look at the WSB and say, oh, it's 406 yards away.
No.
Nope, I'm going to bounce a laser off that son of a bitch.
Absolutely, yeah. And our little pro tip for the day, I haven't had to do this a lot, but I have had to do it. If you have a particularly difficult to range target, back in the trees, there's like a bunch of trees, but this thing is like 40 yards into those trees, things along those lines where it's really tough. Just walk to the target and range the position you're shooting it from, or range a card that it's going to be next to something like that. Like, I've done that, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 times in like the 15 years I've been shooting, where I've been like,
and never in North Carolina.
One of them was South Carolina.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
It's usually kind of treacherous to get there at those ranges.
No, and that one was, and it was like me and James Gill, and it was like all these targets back in the trees, and finally both of us looked at each other and we're like, we should just walk down there. And we walked like 380 yards to range the car that you shot him from.
I just picture you like climbing the mountain behind Pro Gun, like trying to get, like, screw you guys, that's not right.
Yeah. No, dude, it's 685, not 683. I told you.
Got him.
Yep. For sure. All right. It's my turn, right?
Yep.
Shout out to our LQ from a couple episodes ago. Focus on your front sight. That's terrible. Terrible piece of advice. First of all, it's 2025. Why are there iron sights on your gun? But if there are iron sights on your gun, guys, we figured this out like 15 years ago. It's faster. It's more consistent. We're not bullseye shooting. We're shooting at a target. Look at the target and put aligned sights in front of it.
Just when I thought we had this squashed, I actually saw a video from a prevalent trainer who was on the Black Hawk Down mission. So you find it that way.
Yep.
Who adamantly, he basically put out a video of like, red dots are not for combat use or whatever, for defensive use. And basically went down of like, well, I like front sight focus. And if I use front sight focus on a red dots don't work as good.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That's like saying, you can type however you want, I prefer to use both my index fingers.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that will get the job done.
Yeah.
That is not the correct way to type.
And I like using an old style typewriter because these
Yeah.
Newfangled keyboards don't have as much feedback, and I can't feel them with my index fingers.
It's like, I refuse to use the technique of how this was designed to work. That, by the way, is how my eyes work.
Yeah.
So because I really want to stick to this dated technique and it's worked well for me for so many years, that's the reason that I'm not going to do the new thing. I like, as someone who trains other people, I don't feel like that is a responsible position to take. Now, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but like, we can objectively prove why that's not the best method.
I mean, I think a really, to start kind of wrapping this up, I think a really obvious thing for bad advice is if somebody says this is the only way to do this, they are about to give you bad advice. Like,
or this is the way we've always done it.
Yeah, this is the way we've always done it. Like, well, like, there's basically, I mean, there's two types of like people in the world. There are people that learn to do a thing, and that's the way they do it until the end of time. And there are people who learn to do a thing, and then they see another way, and they're like, "Ooh, is that better?" And then they try that way, and maybe it's better, maybe it's not. And it evolve. Like Maxwell was just talking about, he was like, "Nope, appendix carry is not for me." And then he was like, "Oh, but check out these belts, check out this rig, this might work. Try it. Oh yeah, actually, this is better than what I was doing."
Yeah,
like new information came to light. And you can evolve your TTPs with whatever you're doing. Like the way that I do almost everything for climbing is different than the way that I build anchors, the way that I rack my gear, the way that I coil my rope, the way that I pack my bat. Like everything I do in climbing has evolved over the years incrementally, sometimes in giant chunks. Everything that I do in shooting has evolved over the years incrementally and sometimes in giant chunks. Like people who just are not open to new information, you need to be very, very, very careful listening to what they have to say, because they might be giving you cutting edge information from 1989, and there's a lot of those people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, ask me a question about anything within the scope of the sport and the products that we talk about. I probably have an opinion, but I'm also open. I can be convinced otherwise. Like we could have an intelligent conversation and I could be convinced.
Yeah.
Or another example, like I'm really involved with USPSA. I sit on some committees, so I get people approaching me on various whatever they're upset about, and they'll unload on me. Or especially if there's people they don't like. Oh, this person or that person, they're screwing everything up, or oh, this rule should be this way or whatnot, or this or that or the other thing. One of the things I tell people right away is, I am probably the most neutral person you're going to talk to about whatever. Pick something polarizing in the shooting sports. Unless it's like one of my pet issues, I'm probably the most neutral person you're going to talk to. I will listen to what they say. I'll be like, well, okay, devil's advocate. I've talked to other people who believe this, and then try to meet somewhere in the middle. So like I've had my mind changed about a lot of stuff. I wouldn't say it's particularly easy to do. It's easy to do if you present a compelling argument that challenges the status quo. And the other thing you got to be careful about, especially taking advice from anybody in those elite military groups. This has been my experience in limited exposure to those folks and folks who train with those folks or are paid to train those folks. People who get that job, who make the selection, they get their operators at the tip of the spear. They have unlimited drive to master anything, but they really will just master whatever's presented to them. They're not necessarily critical thinkers, or they don't necessarily evolve on things. Like the reason competitive shooters get brought in to teach them stuff, they're like, We want to shoot good. Give us a drill. Somebody gives them a drill, and they have unlimited time and resources to master that drill. And then they move on to the next thing and the next thing. But they kind of need the pipeline of the people who have digested the idea of what is the best current idea on how to do something like this, and then they will master it. Their job is mastery and execution. It's not necessarily figuring out the best way. So like when we, again, talk to this person, the example that I used operated at a high level in the early 90s. But that was, they have unlimited drive to master what is put in front of them, not necessarily figure out the best way, especially when they're operators. Operators tend to be young in their careers, right? Because they essentially, if they stay in it long enough, they promote into leadership. And like in anything, public sector or private sector, the higher you go the
less you do the thing.
Yeah, the less you do the thing, right? So usually they're at the tip of the spear because they are the executors. So they have unlimited resources and energy to master things. They need it put in front of them what it is to master. So putting in front of them to master dated information or dated techniques, not necessarily, in my opinion, a good advice.
Well, and the other thing is too, they have a very, like we're talking about the 36, 300 yard zero, like that came from a extremely specific use case of maritime boarding of ships. That's not a stage in any match I've ever been in.
Yeah, remove it from that context. It falls apart pretty quick.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like a lot of things that exist in the same thing can be true for the competition world. Like a lot of things that exist in the competition world make no sense once they leave like a competition setting.
Oh yeah.
So when you come from either world, there's most of it crosses over, and then there's a handful of things that just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, can you imagine clearing a house with the comp that's on my rifle? Like you wouldn't need flashbang. You wouldn't even need to shoot at anybody. Everybody in the house would be deaf and blind by the time you got done with I
don't know about that. I wouldn't go there, but I would go, the people who have that job, the amount that they train.
Oh my God.
They would have occupation-based injuries.
Yeah.
From the amount of reps they did in training that, and the guns they train with are the guns they do that thing with for real.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I love comp rifles. They're super fun to shoot, especially the really aggressive ones. My truck gun, stay-at-home gun, all that kind of stuff gun has a 3-port flash hider on it because I don't need super aggressive recoil control at distance. I just need it to be not extra loud. Because if that thing ever gets used in the setting that it's intended to be used in, almost certainly nobody's going to have ears on. And I just, why would I want this to be louder at the distance it's designed to be used at? That muzzle rise doesn't save me anything. So why would I do that?
It does fascinate me a little bit, the dichotomy of like people attracted to this sport, boom, boom, bang, bang, fire, explosions. They like all that. And then, but a muzzle brake. Oh my gosh. Like all of a sudden, that crossed the line. That's too loud. Like, all the muzzle brakes on guns in my direct sphere of influence, they have muzzle brakes on them or suppressors and not really a whole lot in between.
Yep.
And a lot of the muzzle brakes are bases for suppressors. So I can do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always found that amazing. But
actually,
no part of me wants to shoot my 11.5-inch SBR with a Surefire brake on it without hearing protection on. But I would rather be alive.
Yep.
if I was given that choice. Alive or not hear this noise.
Yeah.
I mean, I would choose alive.
Well, and I'll retract a little bit, but not quite. So, I have two, I would call them truck guns. I have an 11.5 with a red dot with a 3-port flash hider, which is a suppressor host. And I have a 14.5 with a Surefire comp with a 1-6, which is a suppressor host. These are my two sort of like outside of competition shooting guns that I would use for other things. Mm-hmm. One of them is basically like, I want this gun to be as short as and small as I can possibly get it, so I could use it in very tight places, and I can put a can on it, if I can afford a few inches. And then the other one is, I still want it to be reasonably short, because when you put a can on anything, it starts getting pretty long. But now I want a little bit of magnification. I want, I jokingly refer to them as, one of them as my house gun and one of them as my zombie apocalypse gun. Yeah. So I'm like, this is the one that I would use to shoot somebody in my living room. That thing's very, very, very short. This is something that I would use to shoot somebody like, coming onto our post-apocalyptic compound from a distance, right? So it's like, they both kind of sort of have the same use, but the point they were trying to make that we got way off track. Hang on. We're still coughing a bit. It is important to understand the context that things are being used in. So whenever somebody uses absolutes, just be aware.
Especially if they didn't originate in the context that you're trying to use them in.
Yes.
Applying military doctrine to competition.
Yep.
Absolutely applying competition doctrine to tactical or defensive shooting.
Also true.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yep.
But evaluate.
Indeed.
Don't clean your gun.
Oh my! That's a thing?
Yes.
What? Wait, why?
I don't need it.
You just do you not like your guns to run? Or,
right. Exactly. That's like nobody who shoots a lot does that.
Hold a good group, or
there is, I think. So, a little context on gun cleaning. A lot of, even if you buy a new gun today, open the owner's manual and read the cleaning procedure, that all originated World War II and prior. Okay?
Solid.
The gunpowder they were using, the smokeless powder they were using in that era was corrosive. So the reason that they scrubbed their barrels so much is because if you didn't, it would detrimentally corrode your barrel. Mm-hmm. Now, in an era where that's not so much the case, there is something to be said for, like on PRS guns or long range guns, of, building up kind of a load bearing server, laying copper into your barrel. But still, you don't necessarily need to strip all the copper out of your barrel. But carbon does build up to a point where eventually your groups will open up.
Yeah.
And so same thing, and then some of these guns that have great reputations for reliability, like Glocks. All right, Glock. Oh, you never have to clean a Glock. My brother in Christ, I assure you.
Having shot out a Glock, I can promise you that you do, in fact,
you do at some time need to give that thing some TLC. It's still a machine that runs. And I guarantee you it will rear its head when it matters the most.
Oh, yes.
All right. So you're not going to discover that your gun is too dirty when you're dry firing.
Yeah.
And you're probably not even going to discover it's too dirty when you're practicing.
No, it'll be some time that matters.
Yep.
But, yeah.
So, and then the inverse of that, XYZ gun runs better dry.
No gun.
Better dry. No gun runs better dry. No. Now, in a desert environment, it's better to run it dry.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Metal on metal needs lubrication. Some lubrication's better than others.
Yeah. And some guns need more lubrication than others, but no guns need no lubrication.
No guns need no lubrication.
Oh my God.
That is not a thing.
No. My God. I feel like you could just crack open any 10-year-old shooting magazine and read any advice they give to any of that stuff and just make another whole episode out of that.
It is trippy.
The stuff that gets passed down to the generation where you're like, oh my God, somebody wrote a whole article about how to do this thing and basically described the worst possible way to do it.
I've been watching a lot of shorts lately on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And it occurred to me that most gun content now on YouTube is essentially the video analog of gun magazines back in the day.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, especially right now, Marlin recently came out with a 10 millimeter lever action gun. Mm-hmm. And what people are saying about these guns, they got them to make videos with, and they're like, oh yeah, whatever they say. It's just like, it's like a talking head on the news. Like he will read whatever you put on the teleprompter. Like that is most gun media.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, it's brutal, dude. I got an invite to be on some YouTube. I'm not gonna say what channel because I don't want to like screw them up or nothing. But I got an invite to be on some gun channel thing. Like, hey, you want to come on our YouTube channel and be part of this thing? And it was one of those like hunters versus cops, and then like cops versus and it was like one of those sort of things. And
yeah, I'm out.
I watched a couple of the videos. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then I was like, so I hit up a buddy of mine and I was like, hey man, you want to go do this? And I can't remember if I put the channel his way or told him or whatever. But anyways, like paired those two up and I'm like, this guy might be interested. He's got a company he'll be able to promote and stuff. And so he went and did it. And he's like, it was rough.
Yeah. Like if Plaid Daddy invites me to go on Grand Thumb, like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
But like, man, some of them
dude,
for a good time. I don't know if I've talked about this on the show, but Rated Red did a series. They did a Brownells charity challenge, if you want to go back. Ooh. And they basically rounded up some gunfluencers. And they were desperate. It was 4 teams of 2, and they were desperate for a 4th team because by the time they asked us, it was like, hey, can you do this? You need to be there in next week.
Wait, was this one you did with
Ryan?
Oh, no. I was thinking the one that that you did with Dave.
Oh, no, that was something else.
Gotcha.
But this was for you, like before YouTube was cool.
Muckenhern, that Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Ryan Muckenhern. So we were like one of the last people they called, and like we were there with some gunfluencers. Yeah, some gunfluencers. Some of them are still active. We were definitely supposed to be the losers. But we beat them all so bad they started sabotaging us. But if you want to go look it up, Rated Red, the Brownells Charity Challenge. It was at Reveille Peak. That was the first time I was at Reveille Peak before Texas 3 Gun.
I'm definitely watching this as soon as this episode is done.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a trip. It's a
Jesus.
trip. But yeah,
that's awesome, dude. Speaking of Ryan Muckenhern, I've never met Ryan, but if anybody wants just a good listen, a good wholesome listen, so Ryan has the first time I saw Ryan's face, I was like, there's no way that's Ryan. Because he sounds like he's a 65-year-old dude who lives in a shack somewhere. Like he has
yeah. He's actually younger than me a little bit.
He has like the best old knowledgeable guy radio voice I've ever heard.
Yeah, Ryan and I are both like old souls from the 40s.
Yeah. And so anyways, but there is a episode from Vortex Nation of breaking down 6'5" Creedmoor memes, and it is listening to Ryan Muckenhern describe memes is maybe the best thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god,
so good.
That's what we're watching next.
It's so good, dude. Oh Jesus, yeah. It's like this gentleman appears to be. I would say he's from a western state. His hair is purple. It looks like. And,
yeah, Ryan is one of my best friends in the world, and he's a trip. And whatever he's on, he's one of the key personalities on the Vortex Nation podcast. He's not acting. That's him.
How he rolls.
He didn't do any research. He has that all on the top of his head.
He comes off that way. Like, that dude strikes me as a complete encyclopedia of
absolutely.
If you need to just randomly know like the muzzle energy of a 300 Win Mag at 400 yards, like he's got it for every load you could think.
Oh yeah, and like, so I grew up. My dad was a once a year white collar deer hunter, if you will. So like I was exposed to hunting when I grew up, but my dad. I would not describe my dad as a hunter. So when we actually got a deer, and that was very like maybe we did, maybe we didn't kind of thing.
Yep.
The process was bring to meat market on Monday.
Uh-huh. There's no, you weren't quartering and processing that thing on your end.
And so my thing this year was I really wanted to learn how to cut it. Like I've, kind of in like a post-COVID world, you kind of like started to learn how to do stuff, some things yourself. And it's like, I don't need to pay $200 to have that. Like, it's not that hard. And so I wanted to learn how to butcher a deer this year, and I got one. And so, hey, Ryan, will you? And so he cut a deer apart in my garage. While he's doing it, he knows all of the bones, all of the muscles, all like the tendons and everything. He pulls something off and like, shh, and he's like, this, you ever hear like a backing, like, this is the backing of, he's like, yeah, they would take this out of a deer and they would put it on the back of a bow. It was the backing of the bow. And that's how, like, all kinds of fun facts. Like, I didn't cut a damn thing. I was just watching him the whole time. He's like, oh yeah. And the knee bone's connected to the,
this Ryan should run a museum or something.
Oh my God. Yeah. He's a trip.
That's awesome. Right on.
But that is all the bad advice we have for you today that we have accrued and can think of off the top of our heads. Mm-hmm. Have you ever gotten some bad advice? Should we tell the rest of On the Perf Nation about bad advice you've gotten? You know what to do. Shoot us an email ontheperfpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from yours. Or if there's comments on whatever medium you listen on, leave it in the comments. And yeah, we'll get at you all next time. This has been On the Perf. Keep those overlays handy. Oh, dude, side story. I called for an overlay today.
Uh-huh.
Homeboy, it was a pistol target. Homeboy was overlaying with the 22 hole.
Yep, double.
He's like, he's like, nah, dude, that's a Charlie. And I'm like, bro, that's a 9mm hole. He's like, oh, my bad. Yeah, you definitely got it. So, kids, keep your overlays handy
and know how to use them.
This has been On the Perf. We'll get at you guys next time.
See you guys.